Jungkook's grip on the door tightened, his knuckles white. Taehyung stood in front of him, confidence radiating off him like heat, his presence overwhelming in the dimly lit apartment. "What are you doing here?" Jungkook demanded, voice steady despite the storm brewing inside him. Taehyung tilted his head, lips curling into a smirk. "Checking on my husband," Jungkook scoffed, rolling his eyes. "We're not, you haven't divorced me yet," Taehyung interrupted smoothly, stepping closer. So technically, his fingers brushed against Jungkook's wrist, lingering. "You still belong to me." Jungkook ripped his hand away, jaw clenching. "I don't belong to anyone. Especially not you." Taehyung's smirk didn't falter. If anything, it deepened. "That's cute." Jungkook exhaled sharply, forcing himself to remain calm. "If you came here to provoke me, congratulations. Now get out." Taehyung didn't move. "You're angry," he mused. "Because you think you're winning, but deep down, you know you're not." Jungkook's hands curled into fists. "I pulled my investment from your company. You're losing deals. You're losing control." He took a step forward, invading Taehyung's space this time. "How does it feel, CEO Kim?" Taehyung chuckled. "You think that was enough to shake me?" His eyes darkened, voice dropping an octave. "Jungkook, I'll let you take that shot." Jungkook stilled. Taehyung leaned in, so close that Jungkook could feel his breath. "You want to hurt me? You'll have to do better than that." Jungkook swallowed, his heartbeat hammering in his ears. "I don't care enough to hurt you." Taehyung's gaze flickered with something unreadable. He exhaled a soft laugh, but it lacked amusement. "Liar." Jungkook clenched his jaw. "Get out." Taehyung didn't move. "You want me to leave?" His voice softened, taunting. "Then say it properly." Jungkook exhaled shakily. "Taehyung, leave." Taehyung searched his face for a moment. Then, to Jungkook's surprise, he actually stepped back. "All right," Taehyung murmured, his smirk returning. "I'll leave." He turned toward the door but paused, glancing over his shoulder. But next time his gaze locked onto Jungkook's, dangerous and intoxicating. "Don't pretend you don't want me here." Jungkook didn't respond. Because he wasn't sure he could lie anymore. Jungkook stood frozen long after Taehyung left, his pulse still erratic. His apartment, usually a place of solitude, now felt suffocating, tainted with Taehyung's lingering presence. Jungkook let out a sharp breath, running a hand through his hair. He had been so sure of his moves, so certain that he was the one holding all the cards. But Taehyung. He had let Jungkook take that shot. And that meant something bigger was coming. Jungkook grabbed his phone and dialed immediately. Namjoon picked up on the first ring. "You saw the news?" Jungkook narrowed his eyes. "What news?" Namjoon sighed. "Turn on your TV." Jungkook snatched the remote and switched on the news. His stomach dropped. Breaking: Kim Corporation strikes back. New multi-billion-dollar partnership secured. Jungkook's fingers tightened around the remote. Taehyung had moved faster than he expected. Namjoon's voice came through the line. "I warned you, Jungkook." "He doesn't lose." Jungkook swallowed his frustration. "I don't lose either." Namjoon sighed. "You should talk to him." Jungkook let out a humorless laugh. "I did. He showed up at my apartment last night." Namjoon was silent for a beat. Then, and Jungkook exhaled, shutting his eyes. "And he's still the same manipulator that he's always been, but you still want him?" Jungkook didn't answer. Because the truth was sitting too heavily on his chest, Kim Corporation, Taehyung's office. Taehyung leaned back in his chair, watching the stock market numbers rise on his screen. Jungkook had made his move. So Taehyung made his. The game wasn't over yet. His office door opened, and Jimin stepped in, arms crossed. You really couldn't resist, Taehyung smirked. You act like I don't know what I'm doing. Jimin shook his head. You know exactly what you're doing. That's the problem. Taehyung tilted his head. And what is that? Jimin sighed, sitting across from him. Dragging this war out instead of just. He waved a hand to fixing things with Jungkook. Taehyung's smirk faded slightly. There's nothing to fix. Jimin raised a brow. You sure? Taehyung looked away. Jimin leaned forward. If you didn't want him back, you wouldn't be fighting him this hard. Taehyung's fingers tapped against his desk. Jimin's voice softened. You love him, don't you? Taehyung closed his eyes for a second before opening them, his expression unreadable. I never stopped. Jungkook's apartment. Later that night, Jungkook stared at his phone, debating for the 100th time. Taehyung's number was still saved. It would be so easy to call. To hear his voice again. To know. Jungkook clenched his jaw. He wasn't going to fall for this again. Instead, he typed a message. Jungkook, stay out of my life, Taehyung. He hit send. A reply came almost instantly. Taehyung, make me. Jungkook cursed, throwing his phone onto the bed. This war wasn't ending anytime soon. Jungkook stared at Taehyung's reply, his chest tightening. Make me. It was so Taehyung, so damn confident, so damn infuriating. Jungkook gritted his teeth. If Taehyung thought he could play this game and win, he had another thing coming. Without thinking, Jungkook grabbed his keys and stormed out of his apartment. Kim Corporation, Taehyung's office. Taehyung barely had time to react when his office doors burst open. Jungkook strode in like a storm, his dark eyes burning with fury. Jungkook, but before Taehyung could finish, Jungkook grabbed him by the collar, slamming him against the glass window. You think this is a game? Jungkook hissed, his breath warm against Taehyung's lips. You think you can just mess with me and walk away? Taehyung's smirk was lazy, his gaze flickering down to Jungkook's lips for a fraction of a second before meeting his eyes again. You came all this way just to see me? His voice was smooth, teasing. Admit it, Jungkook. You missed me. Jungkook's grip tightened. I hate you. Taehyung chuckled, his hands coming up to rest lightly on Jungkook's wrists. You sure about that? Jungkook's breath hitched. Taehyung was too close, his scent too familiar, his body too warm against his own. It wasn't fair. It wasn't supposed to feel like this. Taehyung's voice dropped to a whisper. If you really want me to stay out of your life, his lips barely brushed against Jungkook's ear. Then why do you keep coming back? Jungkook's entire body went rigid. He should push Taehyung away. He should. But instead, he crashed his lips against Taehyung's.